Legend says the prophet Sweet Medicine voiced a warning to the Cheyenne people here at Bear Butte in South Dakota.
They were told before they ever saw a white person that there was a strange person coming from the east that would take over their land, take over their customs and their people and their language, and make them forget their ways. And they said, how will we know? And he said, well, he'll come from the east and he'll feed you from the east to the west, to the ocean, to the great waters. They said, well, we'll fight to keep our land. And he said, I'm sorry, but it won't be any use. We felt sorry for them, but we told them that was their fate.
Across the vast sea of grass known as the Northern Plains, two strong forces will collide in the 1800s to determine the history of the West. The most powerful native people in what will become Nebraska, the Dakotas, and Montana are the Lakotas. White men call them Sioux. The Lakotas call white men Washichus. Lakota holy man Black Elk tells of first hearing of them as a child.
Everyone was saying that the Washichus were coming, and that they were going to take our country and rub us out, and that we should all have to die fighting.
To die in battle is an honor for Lakota warriors. To show their enemies they have no fear, the Lakotas' war cry is, "It's a good day to die." Their new enemy, United States soldiers. Charged with opening the West and protecting settlers, the soldiers care little about Lakotas. One calls them wild beasts. His name is George Armstrong Custer. On a summer day in 1876, Custer and more than 260 U.S. soldiers will hear the shout, "It's a good day to die," at a place Lakotas call the Greasy Grass. On that day, the Lakotas will win the greatest victory by a native people against the U.S. Army at this place the soldiers know as the Little Bighorn. But the people of this land, the Seminoles, stood and fought. They waged a hit-and-run guerrilla war unlike anything America had ever before experienced. For the United States, fighting on alien terrain against a determined, elusive foe was a grim fortune. They ride to remember the great chiefs and warriors of the past, Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, Red Cloud and Bigfoot. They ride to remember the tragic years after Custer and the Little Bighorn, when the blazing fire of victory quickly turned to ash. Pursued by troops and forced onto reservations, the Lakotas and their friends and allies, the Cheyennes, were told that the only way they could survive was to obliterate all traces of their way of life. They must kill the Indian in them to save the man. But all this brought was misunderstanding, despair, and death.
They want us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. They don't know that moccasins do not have bootstraps.
Most important, these Lakotas ride to remember men, women, and children who lost their lives at this place more than 100 years ago. a place where all the anguish and distrust came to a flashpoint, and the frontier west was lost for good. Wounded Knee.